Hey everyone, welcome back to Willson Builds. If you're new here, I'm Zach. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're returning from a previous video on my channel or coming over from my Instagram, thank you for showing up for today's video. Your support is greatly appreciated and I can't thank you enough. Today, we're working on the 1929 Ford Roadster. A couple videos back, we took the body off the frame, did some body filler, did some body work, did some welding. I hate body filler. I hate everything about kind of body work. I don't mind the metal work so much, but it's a little bit annoying in my opinion. So today we're going to be doing some more of it. We're going to start with a slick sand, which is going to be sprayed over the body. And basically slick sand is like a high build kind of surfacer primer, which takes out a lot of imperfections because it goes on very thick. So we're going to be spraying that on, and then we can probably move into a primer. Maybe we'll even get to a bait. Maybe we'll even get to painting the car in this video. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know how well the slick sand process is going to go and the body work after the fact. So maybe we paint the car in this video. Maybe we don't. I guess you'll probably tell by the title. But anyways, we have a couple little prep things to do before we can spray that slick sand. And hopefully be able to get those done within the next 30 minutes, maybe an hour. Again, it's not many things, but I'll show you what we have to do. But yeah, let's get into the video. So the first thing I would like to do is fill these holes. I was originally going to keep these holes for the buckles of the roof, but since then I have seen a little bit of design that can go right off here and basically bends like a piece of 3/4 inch tubing around to that side, and the buckles can actually go on that. So this stays clean and everything kind of mixes well. Anyway, so that's what we have to do first. Weld all these little holes. There's probably about 10 of them. Sand them, make them smooth, and go from there. All right, so I'm gonna do this outside. So we gotta shuffle some cars around. I gotta move the Mercury, and then move this, and then move the Mercury back. So it's gonna be a bit of a journey here. So we got it in place now. We can start cleaning it. I'm gonna blow it off first, get all the dust out of the crevices, and then wipe it down. Pardon the mess to unwrap the slick sand. I had a little mishap with my compressor last night, so I've been fixing it this morning. So it's the next day. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's all in the same video. We can start getting our slick sand ready to go. I just brought it down to the paint shop and they shook it up for me. I have a mixing cup in here. I do. Okay, so I guess what the slick sand is it has its hardener, and it kind of shows you on the side here. I think for this full thing, we use a full tube of this hardener. So I'm gonna pour it in here, mix it really well, but I'm gonna put a mask on because I'm getting dizzy. So I won't be talking much, we'll just be mixing. Alright, here goes nothing. I guess I think we set the gun, but who knows. Alright guys, it's been about 2 weeks or so since we slick sanded the entire thing, and a lot of it's going to have to come off because our second coat we did, we used a different quart, and the hardener was long expired. So that sucks. We're bound to run into a hiccup somewhere, and I think this is the biggest one I've ever run into. So I'm just going to go around the body today and find the soft spots and kind of focus on those more. There is a lot of spots that did get hardened, but there is definitely a couple that will need to be sanded right down. I'll tell you what I mean by soft spots. As you can see, my nail is just pulling up that gooey paint. But in some areas, you know, like right there it's fine, and then a little bit lower, it's goo again. So we're gonna leave this trunk to very last. There we go. Okay, so after about a few minutes of sanding, I quickly realized that I think we're fighting a little bit of a bigger force than we expected. Yes, most of it's hard. I mean, I'm just a little nervous about painting over this because, you know, I don't know. So I'm contemplating taking everything off, epoxying the whole body, and then, I don't know, slick sanding it again because we do have good slick sand now. I mean, it wouldn't take that long to strip the body, and I think we could probably be pretty careful on where we did body work. So I think that's what we have to do, unfortunately. But oh well, it is what it is. So yeah, let's go get some abrasive discs, and then we'll, you know, we can have that done in 5 minutes. So I'm not overly worried. All right, let's see how many abrasive discs this takes. Okay, so a little after, I would say 4 hours, we got the body completely stripped, and then I went over with my orbital sander with 100 grit and just kind of evened everything out, got all the little odds and sods done. So yeah, we're basically ready to put epoxy on. I'm gonna be spraying it outside like we did. It didn't get like any contaminants in it when we did our slick sand, so I'm not too worried about it. A little windy today though, so I have to be a little bit more careful, but worst comes worst, we just have to Scotch-Brite it out. Anyways, I'm gonna quickly clean all the surfaces, get all the dust out. I'm gonna go over with some dish soap and water, and then we'll go with some acetone, and then we can get spraying. All right, so everything's clean. I think we're ready to spray now. So I'm gonna go mix the paint, and then we'll put a coat down and see how it goes. Okay, the body turned out actually really good. Layered on there nicely. Obviously there's some blemishes we have to work on because all our body filler is gone. But I'm gonna take today and start sanding the trunk lid. This is gonna be a real big pain with all the louvers, but I think we can get it done today. All right, now that we got this all clean, I just rubbed it down with some wax and grease remover. We can start putting our epoxy primer on. All right, so we're actually further ahead now that we kind of went back and we epoxied the whole thing with, spray gun epoxy instead of what we did when we did little pieces with a spray can. So this is a really nice thick coat of epoxy, and it reveals a lot of stuff we do have to fix, but in all honesty, I don't think we have to do the body in full slick sand, but we will focus on some areas with the slick sand, such as the firewall, the rear quarter, and some other just little pieces just to get that nice kind of thick body filler on there, polyester body filler, and essentially spray it, sand it, go from there. There is some places where I'd actually like to get physical body filler on there, and yeah, hopefully we can get all that done today. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mask a few areas. Like, I don't need to do this top area, so I don't want it overspraying into here. I don't need to do this top cowl. I need to do the lower firewall and kind of the further quarter panel. Maybe some up here, but we'll just kind of mask and spray as we need to and not go too overboard. All right, so when we come into the light here, you can see all the little deposits of dents or scrapes or kind of deformities in the metal. And there's a fair amount on this side, but when we spray a kind of a thick coat of slick sand, so I made a tape line here, we're gonna go all the way up to here, spray this whole section, spray the wheel well, kind of move forward. The door, not so bad. The front cowl's good. Up here, not too bad. Obviously you can see that mark in here, and then we're gonna have to really touch up kind of the upper sill here. But the hood, or the trunk lid I should say, not terrible. Obviously there is some blemishes and so on and so forth, but that's okay. This isn't gonna be a perfect car. I'll obviously do the major stuff down in here, but I'm not too worried about overall. There is gonna be dents, there's gonna be bruises, and that's what's gonna make this car cool. So besides me kind of sanding that door down to kind of see where we're gonna go, this whole rear quarter panel except for right here is pretty good. So I'm gonna spray the wheel well with slick sand, and then I think this side will be complete besides the upper sill here and a little bit of stuff we have to work on the door, but overall pretty happy. So I'm gonna start mixing some slick sand and we'll get it on there. So I've been working for a few minutes just to get these panels all scuffed. I'm using a green Scotch-Brite because I don't know where I put my red Scotch-Brite, and this seems to work just as good. So we'll keep doing this for a few minutes, get it real scuffed up, ready to go. Clean it down with some wax and grease remover, and then we'll hopefully get to spray. We have to do this area, the firewall, and up here. I guess realistically we should be doing the entire body because we will have to do the entire body eventually. But for right now, I'm just gonna focus on the spots we need to do. And then, you know, if there is a little bit of overspray or what have you, we can kind of sand that off when we go to do the rest of the body and prep it for probably like a high build primer, I would think, over top of this. And we'll sand that primer down, work on it a little bit more, and just kind of fine tune all our body work. I'm gonna say it again, this isn't gonna be a perfect car, but it'll be decent. All right, now that we got the body all wiped down and buffed, I think we're ready to start putting paint on. I mixed that slick sand for 10 minutes, so hopefully the hardener got in there. But yeah, let's start spraying. All right, we can do our second coat now. All right, so the good news is it's already started drying. I guess there is only good news. So I'm gonna start taking all our masking off and put it in the sun. I don't know if it's a good thing to put it directly in the sun, but there's some sun on the driveway right now. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay, let's get some filler primer on this. All right, so we did 3 coats in total of our filler primer. I'm really happy with the results. A little bit of orange peel and stuff, but that will just sand out. So it's gonna have to dry for a little bit. So we're gonna go check out the Light 'em Up show at Mayfair again. If you've watched previous videos of mine, we went to that show, I don't know, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. So he's throwing another one. So we're gonna wash the 55 and head that way. All right, guys, so we're just on our way to the show, the meet. Hopefully there's gonna be a lot of people still there. I mean, the show is supposed to be, I think, double the size of the last time if you saw my previous video. And there are still a lot of people there, and it's a nice day out today. And we've had some bad days kind of like a week prior, so hopefully everyone's itching to get out. I was thinking to myself, though, this is probably gonna be our last outing in the 55 before it goes into storage, which is kind of bittersweet, but at least we get to spend it on a nice day. And the positive part of that is the 55 will be going into storage, and we'll be able to kind of fully finish the Roadster while the 55's out of the garage, and then hopefully be able to pull the Mercury in for winter and do a lot of work on that as well. So bittersweet, yes, but kind of needed. So we'll be putting this guy in storage and then doing a kind of a, I like to do a bit of an overhaul of this in the spring. New exhaust, fix some paint issues, stuff like that. So I guess that'll come next spring. But anyways, guys, I gotta stop for gas and then we'll be headed to the show. Set a car alarm on. All right, guys, so we just got home from the show. I didn't actually film anything. Saw a lot of people, was talking to a lot of people I haven't seen in a long time, so just didn't have the right dynamic to film anything. But I saw the awards, saw the volunteers, a great event again. Light 'em Up did a fantastic job again. Speaking about awards, we got one. People's Choice. This is for the Torque Master show that I filmed in a previous video. I mentioned we came second, and the Torque Masters were very kind to give me a People's Choice Award. So thank you everyone who I saw there who voted, and yeah, I'm stoked. This is the coolest thing ever. So thank you. I'm speechless. This is great. But yeah, thanks to the Torque Masters for awarding me this. Yeah, I'm stoked. Thank you. Anyways, guys, so we're gonna call it an evening, but we'll be back on the Roadster body tomorrow. Yeah, I went really thick with the primer, so it's still a tad tacky. So I'm just gonna turn the heat on in my garage and let it sit for the evening, and we'll jump at it tomorrow. All right, guys, I'm gonna call the video there. The primer is on the car. It is dry. It looks great. We had to take about 5 steps backwards to take this one kind of leap forward, and it was well worth it. We got to go into depth with our epoxy, our body filler, and now our filler primer. And the car overall looks much better. I was able to see a lot more imperfections when we were able to grind it down and put a full coat of epoxy on, because when I did epoxy before, I was just doing sections, so it would get dirty and so on and so forth. So we went into body work much more into depth, so pretty happy with that. So glass half full kind of situation. So I know I said I'd get to base in this video, and actually I think I said I'd probably paint this whole car in this video, but we're gonna wait. It's almost there. We're gonna be doing the body and the frame in the same video, I hope. I just ordered the paint, so we'll be getting to that very soon. But yeah, super stoked. This video, you know, turned into a bit of a negative kind of kick in the butt, but then it turned pretty positive when we were able to see the finished product of our filler primer, and with a special touch of getting the People's Choice Award from the Torque Masters. I'd like to quickly say thank you to the Torque Masters for awarding me that and giving me the opportunity to accept that award. And yeah, it was really cool of them. I'm still really stoked. It's hanging in my garage, and yeah, that was huge. That was a big win, and it happened just at the right time because I was feeling pretty down about having to redo all this, but it worked out perfectly. So thank you guys. If any of the Torque Masters are watching who are involved, that is awesome. But anyways, guys, like I said, I'm gonna call the video there because there's not much else to do. I mean, we could probably extend this, but we have to upload tomorrow because it's Thursday. So if you saw something you like, dislike, something I can improve on, if you want to roast me in the comments, please do so below. And while you're doing that, don't be afraid to hit that like, subscribe, and hit that notification so you know when we're uploading. We do weekly uploads every Friday, so hopefully next Friday we'll be able to catch up again. But we're catching up with those videos. We're gonna be filming a lot more stuff in the next little bit, and hopefully we'll see you guys in the next video of Willson Builds. Thanks for joining.